I'm live. All right. Oh my God. Let me try and sort this out. If my tripod falls over, it's on its last legs now. It's just like a cheap little Amazon one, so it's definitely on its last legs. So I'm a little bit wonky, and if it falls over, whatever. But we're rolling with it. So welcome back to another Facebook Live yoga class. I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you're enjoying the sun. The weather's turned really nice again. And yeah, I'm back until the gym opens. Obviously a little bit disappointing with the announcement, but I'm sure it won't be long. So until the gyms open, I will be here every Wednesday at 10:30 to be doing a Facebook Live yoga class with you. And I'm really enjoying them, and I hope you're finding them valuable too. But hopefully it won't be too long till we can all get back into the gym. I'm definitely looking forward to it, because there's that social element as well, which is really important. Like I think everyone at Lift Off knows as well that it's more than just a gym, isn't it, or a yoga class. There is a real sort of like a friendship thing going on. So it's going to be great to have that back. But yes, yoga today. What are we going to do? We are going to be doing like a full body wake up kind of yoga. So we're going to sort of marry some gentler movements with some more cardio type movements. We're going to be doing plenty of sun salutations, as well as some passive stretches. We're just going to target the whole body. We're just going to do everything today. That's the plan. You may need a yoga strap, especially if your hips are tight. That's all you're going to need. Yeah, that's it. Full body wake up yoga. Because I've been waking up so late that this feels like the morning to me now. I mean, technically it is the morning, but yeah, I just think it's nice sometimes to do like a big full body thing, target all the areas. We're going to be doing hips, hamstrings, going to get the heart rate up a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be good. But we are going to start on our backs. I should just mention, I'm really wonky today. It's going to stress me out. It's okay, we'll roll with it. I should just mention, if you've got any injuries, you need to check with your doctor before doing this. If you've got any concerns, then just give me a message. Always listen to your body, never push past pain. Just do your best, and I'll give plenty of modifications and variations throughout. But definitely have that strap handy if you know you've got tight hips. And who doesn't? Who doesn't at the moment have tight hips? Yeah, you can see my legs, that's all right. Okay, we're going to start on our backs. Yes, lie down. Just lie down to begin with. It's the best part of any yoga class, just having permission to lie down and just breathe, honestly. Very underrated. So it's up to you how you start. You can have the legs straight with the feet falling out sideways, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out sideways, making a diamond shape with the legs. And this is quite a nice way to passively work into the hips and groin. Or if your lower back feels a little bit iffy, just bend the knees and have the soles of the feet on the floor. There's lots of options here. You're just finding a position that you can be comfortable in, that you can be still in. And then you can either rest the hands on the tummy, you can place the hands either side of the body with the palms up. Open your eyes, close your eyes. This is your moment. This is your resting moment. A few minutes in the beginning of every yoga class, whether it's seated, lying or standing. We're just taking a moment to check in, really. So taking the attention around the body and just noticing how you feel, if there's any areas that feel a little bit tighter than usual, any aches and pains you need to be mindful of. And as well as focusing on the body, we're starting to focus on the breath. So inhales and exhales equal, finding a slow but sustainable rhythm, something that feels comfortable, something you can maintain throughout this hour's practice. And the breath is really important. I know I bang on about it, but you know, it's really important. It's how we move in and out of postures, it's how we deepen postures. So with some of the passive stretches today, if you feel some resistance from the body, sometimes a few deep breaths can help those muscles relax. It may help you move a little deeper if that's appropriate. And it's a measure of whether we've gone a little bit too far as well. So if you cannot breathe in a posture, you just need to back up. So we're always prioritising the breath over the position. Breathing through the nose if possible. Moving the breath up into the chest, so feeling the ribcage rise and fall. and the body's just very heavy. So everything's just sinking down into the mat. Legs are heavy, base of the spine down, back of the head down, and the chest is broad. Chin tucks in so the back of the neck is long. So always trying to find length through the spine, even from these lying positions. It's very relaxing, isn't it? I'm gonna have to start moving soon, otherwise you're just gonna watch me sleep in for an hour. All right, so from here, if the soles of your feet together and your knees are apart, just slowly bring your knees back together. And then we're all gonna take a cat stretch. So point the legs down the mat, arms overhead, just make yourself really long. So kind of like a lovely good morning stretch here, fingers down to toes. You may feel a little arch lift in your lower back. Full body. So we've got the stretch in the shoulders, the tops of the legs, tops of the feet, the side body, the tummy, and the lower back obviously as well. And then exhale, hug the knees into the chest, rock from side to side, and just make some circles. So you can make one big circle with the hands around the knees or the shins, or you may want to make separate circles with the knees to work into the hips. Very much up to you. You do what feels comfortable. Either way, we're rocking out any tension in the lower back, squeezing the thighs in towards the belly as you roll, and just keep the back of the head on the floor. So we don't want to strain the neck. So back of the head stays down. Again, I could do this for an hour. It's good. Some days this is all I do. Just roll about on the floor and have a lie down. No shame. All right, and then bring both feet to the floor. So we're going to start with a couple of gentle twists. So if you want to take your arms out wide, palms down, so you're making a T position with the arms. Feet and knees together, keep the feet on the floor first time round, and just gently walk your heels in towards your bum. You're going to take a big inhale here, then as you exhale, just let the knees very lazily fall over towards the right, and then you're turning and you're looking over your left shoulder. So starting with a very sort of passive lying twist. There's no effort to get the knees down to the floor. There's no effort to squeeze the thighs together if the knees want to fall apart. A very lazy kind of posture. The only thing you want to be mindful of is that left shoulder stays down. So keeping the left shoulder planted. Spreading the fingers, maybe pressing down through the hands, starting to prepare the wrists for some of the downward dogs we'll do later. And there's a couple of places you may feel this, obviously lower back. This is a really good stretch if you get a stiff back. Top left leg around that hip area, the groin. And if your shoulders are tight, you may feel it there, the side body as well. Everyone experiences these kind of postures differently, and then you'll experience them differently on each day as well. It really sort of depends on what you need. Okay, and then as you inhale, knees back to centre, and then exhale, legs fall over to the left. You're turning, looking over the right shoulder. Very lazy, no effort to get the knees down, and again, no effort to squeeze the knees together if they want to fall apart. You may feel the stretch differently depending on the side as well. If one side's a bit tighter, might be a totally different experience. Just making sure to keep that right shoulder down. Okay, lovely, and then inhale back to centre. We're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time if you want a deeper stretch, you're just going to pick the feet up off the mat a few inches. So very much up to you. You can leave the feet down if that, felt enough for you. Otherwise, feet off the floor a few inches, knees together. To begin with, inhale, then exhale, legs come over towards the right again. Gently turning, looking over the left shoulder. A little bit trickier this time if you pick the feet up to keep the shoulder down, but do your best. If the shoulder lifts, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either bring the knees a little bit higher towards centre, or you can make that arm a little bit stronger. So press down through the arm to try and anchor yourself. So we don't want to be trying in this posture, not engaging any muscles. Very gentle twist. And then as you inhale, just pick the legs back up to centre. Last time as you exhale, let them fall over towards the left. Gently turning the head, looking over the right shoulder, keeping the right shoulder down as much as possible, and relaxing. Just relaxing into it. No force, no effort. Noticing where you feel it, notice if you feel it differently to the other side, and just making sure that right shoulder stays down. Okay, and then inhale back to centre, wonderful. Take the feet to the floor. We'll have another cat stretch here, so pointing the toes down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. So waking the body up gently. And then hugging the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side and coming back to those circles. So either making one big circle or separate circles with the knees. Hands around the knees or the shins as you rock. Giving the lower back a little bit of a massage, keeping the head down, keeping the breath steady. And then take both feet to the floor. So now we're going to passively work into the hips. So this is maybe where you want your strap handy if you know you've got super tight hips or glutes. So we're going to leave the left knee bent, left foot on the floor to begin with, and we're just going to cross the right foot over the left thigh. Now this may be enough of a stretch. For some people with super tight hips, you might want to stay here with the hands either side of the body. You might be feeling some sensation right at the top of the right leg. Otherwise, if you're happy to move further, you're just going to pick the left foot up off the floor and then thread the hands through the legs, take the back of the left thigh. Okay, so instead of the hands, you might want to use a strap. Okay, so if the base of the back of the shoulders and the back of the head are lifting, and if everything feels very uncomfortable in your upper body, you're going to want to use a strap instead. So the upper body is quite relaxed, back of the head down, shoulders roll down into the mat away from the ears, and then the base of the spine stays down as well. If we pick the base of the spine up, we just lose the isolated stretch in the right glute, right hip. And then just gently work your toes back as well, bringing a little stretch into the calves. And obviously, if you feel any discomfort in the right knee, you just want to relax the posture. Otherwise, keep the breath steady, and with every exhale, maybe drawing the left thigh back towards the tummy as long as the base of the spine is down. This is just one of my favourite postures, top 5. It's not very Instagrammable, I admit. You're not going to get 1,000 likes for a posture like this. But it's just very good. It's, you know, very functional, very supportive, so something most people can do without experiencing pain. Very good for things like sciatica as well. Just keeping the chin in towards the chest so the back of the neck is long. And then just holding it here. There are a couple of ways you can deepen this posture, provided your right knee's okay. So if your right elbow is pressing against the inner right thigh, you can just gently nudge the leg down the mat as you ease the left thigh back. Or you can just do the movement without the elbow touching the thigh, so subtle movement to draw your right knee down the mat. It's just the act of squaring that right shin off will draw a deeper stretch into the hip. Okay, a few more moments here. So relaxing any areas of the body we don't need. So we don't need to be tensing the shoulders or the jaw. We don't need to be engaging any muscles really. Very supported. And then exhale, just release. Bring the feet down to the floor, uncross your legs, give your bent knees a shake. You can do exactly the same thing the other side. So right knee, bend, right foot on the floor to begin with, and just cross your left foot over your right thigh. You can stay here with the hands either side of the body, or you can pick the right foot up off the floor, thread the hands through the legs, take the back of the right thigh. With both hands or the strap, depends on your hip. And then remembering all the little action points. So base of the spine down, shoulders down, chin tucks in, chest is broad, feet are active, so toes gently work back. Feeling that huge stretch in the left glute, opening up into the left hip. So it's really important. It's something we focus on a lot in yoga, trying to bring awareness to every part of the body. So while the predominant stretch is the left glute into the left hip, we still want to be mindful of what the arms are doing, the shoulders, the neck, the base of the spine, the toes. And it's this kind of body awareness that helps us move a bit more intelligently throughout our daily lives and also in other forms of movement we do. With every exhale, maybe easing the right thigh back towards the tummy. Your choice, perhaps pressing the left elbow in a left thigh or drawing the left knee down the mat. Any discomfort in the knee, just relax the posture. Okay, wonderful. And then just release. Foot down, uncross, give your legs a shake, and then we're going to take another cat stretch. So pointing the toes down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. Last time. So really enjoy it. Shoulders up by the ears, pointing the toes. And then hugging the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side and making some circles. Back of the head on the floor. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, you're going to be popping yourself up to all fours. I'm wearing shorts because it's hot, but I just need to not make them ride up. Okay, that being said, we're in all fours. We're going to move through some cat-cows. So I'm obsessed with cat-cows, but I've been doing them a lot less lately because I realised that I'm obsessed with cat-cows and I needed to find something else. But full body yoga class cat-cows, just a perfect movement to wake up all the muscles in the back, to improve the mobility of our spine, to work into the shoulders, work into the neck, tops of the feet as well. So make your way into this all four position, fingers spread, so really spreading the fingers as much as possible, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips and tops of the feet on the floor if possible. And then we're going to work through our cat-cow. So as you inhale, lifting the hips, lifting the chest, looking forward, a little back bends. Don't worry about the depth, just move in a way that feels natural to you. And then as you exhale, we're going to be round in the back. So pushing into the hands, the chin comes in towards the chest and you're arching the spine up towards the ceiling. The inhale drops the belly, little back bend, squeezing the shoulders back gently. And then the exhale rounds the back, chin to chest, tucking the hips under, pushing into the hands and feeling the stretch in the shoulders, upper back. And then just keep this movement up. So the whole of the inhale lifts, belly drops, and then the whole of the slow exhale rounds. Rolling through the spine, deliberate controlled movements, arms straight if possible. Okay, good, keep going, a few more rounds of this, so a really good little preparation for all sorts of back bends. Can't really beat the shoulder stretch as well. Okay, good, a few more moments. Okay, fab. And then at the end of your next exhale, no rush, come to a flat back. And we're just going to make our way into child's pose. So today, if possible, feet and knees together. Bum towards heels. Get the bum and the heels as close together as possible before walking the hands out in front of you and lowering the forehead down towards the floor. Now, if it's not comfortable to have the knees together, you can separate the knees a little bit, that's okay. Wherever you are, we want this to feel quite restful. Really nice little stretch into the lower back. Crawling the fingertips forward. I quite like to take my hands as wide as the mat at the moment and draw my armpits down so I can start to feel that stretch across the upper back, but you don't have to do that. But either way, the arms are straight here. And don't worry if your forehead doesn't come down to the mat either. You can stay on forearms, you can stay upright. Okay, and then as you inhale back up to center, and then from here we're going to slide down onto our bellies and we're going to come into Sphinx pose, another little back bend. So we're going to do this 2 times, we're going to do it passively and then we're going to work it a little bit more actively. So you can do it both. I mean, I've practiced it in yin style classes in a more passive way. So just have your feet hip width apart, tops of the feet on the floor, and then you're going to come down onto your forearms. So the elbows are underneath the shoulders, forearms are parallel, fingers spread, and then you're just gently lifting the chest, looking forward. You know, this isn't too bad, is it? This is quite a nice way to lie. So chest lifts, breath steady, fingers spread, and then just kind of melting into the posture. So we're not really engaging anything here. Suppose this is a bit more of like a yin style version of the posture. You're just kind of relaxing into the shape. You're still getting all the benefits of a back bend in a very kind of supported way. It's still very difficult to hold for like 5 minutes. Okay, a few more breaths. Okay, and then just make a little pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, or you can come down onto your right cheek, your left cheek, and rest the hands either side of the body, up to you, whatever's comfortable. So that was a very passive way of working the posture. And now we're going to try and make it a little bit more active. So come back up onto your forearms. Elbows underneath the shoulders, fingers spread, forearms parallel, feet hip width apart, tops of the feet on the floor. Now instead of or if you were on your limit, if you found that quite challenging, definitely stay in the passive posture and just kind of relax and breathe through it and see how you get on. Otherwise, we're going to make it stronger. So we've set this posture up now. What we're going to do this time is press into the tops of the feet to lift the knees. Okay, so now the legs are automatically stronger. Tuck your pelvis into the mat. It's going to squeeze the glutes ever so slightly. So now everything waist down is very strong. So knees are lifted, tops of the feet are pressing into the mat, pelvis presses down into the mat. Now from here, lifting the chest, but to exaggerate this movement, press into the forearms, squeeze your shoulder blades back and down the spine. You're going to feel the contraction now in the back muscles, and then it's almost like we're trying to pull our chest energetically through the arms. So you can actually make that movement even though you're not going to go anywhere. Look forward and breathe. So a lot stronger now. Stay with it. So pressing into the tops of the feet to lift the knees, tucking the pelvis into the mat. Pressing into the forearms to lift the chest, and then rolling the shoulders back and down. And imagine you're pulling the chest through the arms. And we'll hold it here for a little while longer. You can hear the shake in my voice, can't you? Okay, a really good way to start strengthening those back muscles. Few more moments, stay with it. And then exhale, release. Amazing, relax. You can either make that pillow and rest your forehead on your hands, or just come onto the opposite cheek this time, arms either side of the body, and just let your shoulders relax, because it's a very strong shoulder opener as well. If anyone tunes in while I'm lying on the floor like this, they're going to think that we haven't been doing anything. Okay, so I hope you felt the difference between that. Both ways of working the posture, totally valid. Depends on your energy, depends on what you want from the posture that day, whether you want something more restorative or whether you want something a little bit more energetic. Okay, and then just prop yourself back up onto your forearms again. So now we're going to come into a posture called Cobra. It's very similar to Sphinx, except this time we move the hands back ever so slightly, and we have the option of straightening the arms. So very quickly, if you did want to work through the Sphinx, absolutely, whichever version, go ahead and do that. If you just watch me for a second, if you come into Cobra, you move your elbows back to the side of your sort of rib cage. And it's the same thing, you want the legs to be strong, and you're going to begin to straighten the arms. Now, straighten the arms slowly, so straighten them a little bit, roll the shoulders back and down, straighten, roll the shoulders back and down. If you come up too quickly, there's a real tendency for this to happen. The shoulders roll forward and you lose your neck. So you only want to come up as long as the shoulders can stay back and down, even if that means the elbows are just off the floor. Now, if you can straighten the arms, go ahead and do that, but remember it's the shoulders that are more important, keeping the neck nice and long. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so forearms down, you can come into Sphinx if you want, or this time you can move the elbows back ever so slightly to frame the ribs, fingers spread. Feet hip width apart and parallel, pressing into the tops of the feet to lift the knees, tucking the pelvis into the floor so the glutes switch on. And then remember, it's the shoulders back and down that we're after here. So lifting the chest to begin with, and then maybe straightening the arms a little, shoulders back and down, straightening, shoulders back and down, straightening, shoulders back and down. And just repeat the process, stopping wherever you start to feel the shoulders rolling forward and collapsing. Want the neck to be long. Now if the arms are straight, feel free, if you want a deeper back bend, to walk the hands back towards the body, as long as you can keep the chest nice and broad. Keep the legs active and just breathe here. So it's very sort of deep back bend. Okay, a few more moments. So what we don't want to do is just to sort of collapse into the spine. We want to keep the strength in the back muscles throughout this. Okay, wherever you are is perfect. A few more deep breaths. And then exhale, just release, come down onto your forearms. And then we're immediately going to make our way into child's pose. So come back into child's pose, whichever version this time you preferred, feet and knees together or knees apart, feet together. Taking a more, like a wider variation, up to you. Either way, you just want to feel comfortable. And after contracting the muscles in the back, coming into child's pose is a wonderful way to stretch them back out. So a really good little counter posture. I recommend it after any back bend. Okay, fabulous. Just taking a couple of moments here, seeing how you feel, letting the posture settle. Definitely quite strong postures, deep back bends. Okay, lovely, and then just make your way back up into all fours, and from all fours we're going to come straight into downward dog. So fingers spread, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back, and then coming into your version of downward dog. Now we haven't done anything with the hamstrings yet, so with this downward dog, let's make it really fluid. So you want your arms to be straight, maybe a little bend in the elbow, but straight as you can get them. Feet hip width apart, but for this first one, let's just pedal the feet out. So you're taking one heel down towards the floor, then the other. Heel doesn't have to touch the floor. Knees can be bent. And then when you're pedaling, just make this movement quite slow and controlled. So don't rush through it, use your breath, just like the cat-cows. Head relaxed, so no tension in the back of the neck. Working into the calves, the hamstrings. If you push your hip back as you take your heel down towards the floor, it brings a deeper stretch up towards the glute area. Okay, let's do this for a little bit longer. It's a really nice way to work into the backs of the legs, strengthen the shoulders, and also to work into the lower back. It's an inversion as well, so it's good preparation for any kind of posture where you're upside down. Okay, lovely, and then stop pedaling, just see if you can draw both hips to the back of the room, so pressing forward with the hands to take the hips back. And then from here we're going to come up to standing, so as you inhale, you're just going to step your feet up by your hands, look forward. Then exhale, drop the head, a little forward fold, so just hold it here. So we've got the feet together, legs together, the hands on the floor or fingertips on the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to, let the head hang. So the head's acting as a weight here. Just staying in this position. Stretching into the backs of the legs, but also hopefully you feel some kind of release in the lower back. So as well as hamstrings and calves, forward folds are a good way to kind of stretch those tight back muscles out. Head's really heavy. So I always have to remind myself of that in forward folds as well. I have a bit of a tendency to crunch into the neck, but if I came around and poked your neck, poked your head, it should kind of flop. That's how floppy we want it. Few more moments here. Wonderful, and then we're just going to roll up through the spine. So rolling up now, vertebrae by vertebrae, uncurling the back and letting the arms be really heavy as you come up, and then the head's going to be the last thing to lift. Oof. and then you're up to standing. Fabulous. So give your body a little shake. So we've done some twists, we've done some hip openers, we've done some back bends, downward dog. We're going to work through some sun salutations now. I really feel like they're the perfect movement. I feel like sun salutations are great. You have the forward fold, you have the strength building of the plank and the low press up, you have the back bend in the upward dog, which we've already prepared for with the cobra, and you have the downward dog, which we've discussed why I love that so much. So we're going to come through some sun salutations. The first one's going to be nice and slow, just in case you've not done one before, and then we'll start to pick the speed up. So we're going to do 5. We're going to do 5 sun salutations. Hopefully keep the sun around for a little bit longer. So if you want to come with your balls of the feet together, ankles slightly apart, the legs are together in this. Now lift your shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward. Okay, so this is a posture. This is Samastahiti, means equals standing. You're spreading the toes, and then if you close your eyes, you're going to notice all these little micro balances going on in your feet as the body constantly readjusts itself. So I really love that kind of analogy in this posture because we're always moving. Even when we think we're still, we're always moving. There's a real sort of fluidity to the body, like an intuitiveness to the body. So we're trying to just share the weight between the heels, the toes, the outer and inner edges of the feet. Drawing energy up the legs. The arms are just relaxed. So while we're ready for action, we're not tense. And then open your eyes if your eyes are shut and we'll begin. So first one nice and slow, we'll take a few extra breaths. So as you inhale, swooping your arms up, looking up. So bring the palms together if possible. Now if that's really uncomfortable for your shoulders, palms apart is fine. The arms are straight, you're really reaching up as much as possible. The head gently tilts back as long as the neck's okay. You're looking up towards your thumbs. And then the shoulders roll forward away from the ears. So just like a cat stretch that we do on the floor, there's a real sense of stretching into the full body here. Fingertips down to the ankles. Take another inhale, make yourself even taller, and then as you exhale, we're coming into that forward fold we worked earlier. So bending the knees as much as you need to, hands come to the floor, drop the head. Okay, and we'll hang out here for a little bit longer than usual. Letting the head totally relax, stretching into the backs of the legs, but also the lower back. Trying to get the palms flat on the floor. So from now, the palms, if possible, stay flat. But you may need to come up onto fingertips for this next movement, which is absolutely fine. So as you inhale, look forward, lengthen the spine. Okay, so hold it here. So if possible, the hands are flat, and now we begin to take some of the weight into the hands. If that isn't happening because of whatever reason, maybe legs or back is tight, that's okay to come up onto your fingertips, but try and keep the hands on the floor. And then as you exhale, we're going to step back to plank. So just hold your planks. A little bit of strength building, nothing wrong with that in the mornings. So fingers spread, hands underneath the shoulders. And then trying to create a straight line from the crown of the head all the way down to the ankles. So from here we come down into chaturanga or low press up. So you're going to drop the body down in one straight line all the way to the floor, or hovering a few inches, and then inhale, pull through a back bend, tops of the feet, much like cobra. You can have the hips down, or you can have the hips off the floor. And then exhale, roll over the toes into downward dog. Ooh, it's very, very hot in my house. So fingers spread, we've already had a little look at downward dog, so this time we're not pedaling the heels out, we're just going to keep the legs static. Pushing forward with the hands to take the hips back, letting the head relax. Fingers wide, pressing down any gaps that may have appeared underneath the fingers. And keeping the breath steady. So sharing the weight between the hands and the feet. You don't need to have the heels down, you can have the legs bent, the heels can be off the floor, but as much as possible, we're trying to get that real sense of the weight backwards. Okay, lovely. Then as you inhale, you bring the weight into the hands. You either step or jump or float your feet up by your hands. Look forward. Again, palms flat if possible, but maybe fingertips if you need to. And then exhale, you drop the head, forward fold. And then inhale, arms up. Palms touch if possible, look thumbs. And then exhale, arms by your side. Give your legs a little shake. So sun salutation, that was a very kind of like slow way of doing it. We're going to see if we can take the next couple a little bit quicker. Eventually you match the movement with the breath. So it becomes like a real moving meditation. Hydrate. It's hot outside. Keep drinking water. So let's get through this. So balls of the feet together, ankles apart. Lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back. You're ready for action, but you're not tense. Take a couple of deep breaths. Feeling strong, feeling awake, feeling alive. Okay, and then as you inhale, arms up, look up, big stretch, look thumbs. And then exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head, forward fold. Then inhale, look forward, palms flat or fingertips. And then exhale, back to plank. And lower to low, press up all the floor. You inhale, pull through a back bend, lead with the chest, legs are strong. And then exhale, downward dog. Taking a moment to adjust the hands, adjust the feet as necessary, pushing forward with the hands to take the hips back. Head's heavy. Gently drawing the tummy in below the navel so that we can start working with the Anabandha. If that doesn't make sense, I have done a class on it. So it'll be on the left page somewhere. Okay, wonderful. Few more deep breaths here, pressing down any gaps that may have appeared underneath the fingers. Rolling the triceps down to give your neck plenty of room so we're broad across the upper back. Lovely, and then as you inhale, feet forward, you look forward, hands on the floor. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, arms by your side. Do that again, inhale, arms up, look thumbs. Exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head, forehead to shins eventually. You inhale, look forward, lengthen, weight into the hands as you exhale, back to plank. Lower to low, press up on the floor. You inhale, pull through a back bend, press into the tops of the feet. And then exhale, downward dog, setting the feet up, setting the hands up, pushing into the hands to take the hips back. Keeping the neck relaxed. And you may find the heels coming a little bit closer to the floor, but don't worry if they're not. Nice long spines and sharing the weight between the hands and the feet. Okay, then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, arms by your side, two more. Inhale, arms up, big reach, good morning. Then exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. Inhale, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, feet back and lower. Inhale, a back bend, tops of the feet. And then exhale, downward dog. Taking a moment to set the feet up, set the hands up. Pushing forward with the hands to take the hips back, maybe tilting the bum up towards the ceiling, elevating the hips. And just remember to keep your head relaxed, breath steady. Okay, and then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head, forward fold, forehead to shins. And then inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Last one, inhale, arms up, big reach. Exhale, fold, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, look forward, lengthen. Exhale, back to plank. Lower to low, press up on the floor. Inhale, a back bend. And then exhale, downward dog. Okay. So, last downward dog, I think. Or who knows? Who knows with me? But maybe the last downward dog, so enjoy it. Spreading the fingers, spreading the toes, drawing the weight back and feeling that lovely stretch at the back of the legs, lower back, down the spine, strengthening in the shoulders. Okay, fabulous. Then as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head forward, fold. And then inhale, arms up, look up. And then exhale, arms by your side. Great, give the shoulders a little shake, give the legs a little shake. So we're just gonna do a sun salutation down to the floor now. So this is a chance to practice your jump throughs if that's something you do. Otherwise, let's just do one more. One more. I lied, you see, it's not the last downward dog. This will be the last downward dog. So as you inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold hands to floor, drop the head. You inhale, look forward, lengthen. Exhale, back to plank. Lower to low, press up all the floor. You inhale, pull through a back bend, lead with the chest, press into the feet. And then exhale, downward dog. Holding it here just for a few breaths, drawing the thighs back, letting the head relax. Okay, and then from downward dog, you're gonna make your way into seated. You're either gonna jump, you can step, you can clap, up to you. Either way, you're gonna end up in a seated position. You're gonna take your legs out in front of you because we're gonna come into a posture called Dandasana now. So the legs are straight, the legs are together, and you're rolling the thighs in towards one another, working the toes back and spreading the toes. So the legs are really strong. Your hands are going to come either side of your hips. If possible, get the arms straight. And then we're trying to imagine we're sitting up against a wall. So you're moving forward on your sit bones, you're drawing the tummy in, you're pulling the lower ribs in, the shoulders roll back and down, the elbows spin in. So dropping the chest here. Feeling that little stretch into the back of the neck. Okay. If you're doing this right, you should be feeling quite a lot of work here in the tops of the legs. Your legs might be shaking. So now we're holding this tension, really good posture for your posture. Keeping the legs together. It's deceptively hard to sit up straight. Feeling the work in the hip flexors, the psoas, the core. Keep extending up through the spine. A few more breaths, you're nearly there. Okay, and then exhale, just release the tension, but stay sitting upright, moving forward on your sit bones, reach forward, take hold of your big toes, first two fingers and thumbs. So if at this point you need to bend your knees, absolutely go ahead and bend your knees in order to take the toes. And what we're trying to do is we don't really want to over round the back like I'm doing at the moment. So there will be a round in the back as you move through this forward fold, but try and keep the shoulders drawing back to the waist and try and lead with the chest. So imagine as we come into this that you're drawing your chest towards your shins. So there's a real sense of going forward rather than just down and curving the back. So as you inhale, straighten the arms, look forward, legs straight or bent. And then as you exhale, lead with the chest. As you fold over the legs, coming as far down as is comfortable. Taking the elbows out wide, coming into a seated forward fold. A tricky posture, requires a lot of patience, this one. Stretching into the whole of the posterior chain, so you've got the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. Keep the shoulders rolling back and down the spine. Keep the chest drawing forward. Holding it here. Okay, lovely. Then as you inhale, look forward. So you can keep hold of the toes, absolutely fine, or this time, place the hands over the top of the feet. The thumbs come over the toes. So now we're working the toes back and we're stretching into the feet as well. So you inhale, look forward again, whichever you're doing, and then as you exhale, fold. Leading with the chest towards the shins, dropping the head, back of the neck is long, shoulders draw down the spine. Few more moments here, doing fabulously. Okay, and then as you inhale, look forward, release the feet, but keep the legs together out in front of you because we're going to come into a yin style posture called half cow face, which just stupid name for a posture. Let's not lie, I'm not going to lie to you. But this is an internal rotation of the hip, and it's also a very deep hamstring stretch. So we'll see how we get on. From here, what we're going to try and do is, to begin with, we're just going to see if we can cross the left knee over the right knee. Taking the left foot to the outside of the right hip now. So feel free to do some wiggling here. You might want to keep hold of the left foot to try and keep the knees stacked. Trying to get the knees as stacked as possible. Now if your hip is tight, you might have a massive gap between the right knee and the left knee. That's okay. You may want to stay upright though for this posture and just have the hands slightly behind you and work on the hip. Okay, just feel the sensation of the hip. If you're doing this, if your hip's tight and you're here, or your foot is further forward, valid, absolutely. You just focus on the breath, okay? You focus on the breath and you focus on what your body's feeling. Now if you can, take the left foot to the outside edge of the right hip and stack the knees, and you feel comfortable in this position. If there's no discomfort in the knees, we're going to fold forward. Take this easy because obviously this time we cannot bend the right leg, so it's a much more intense hamstring stretch. So you inhale, reach up towards the ceiling with both hands if you're going to fold, and then exhale, laying the weight of the body over the leg. Maybe taking the foot, you can rest the hands either side of the leg. You can bind the wrists behind the foot if you want, up to you. Either way, now we're just flopping into the posture as much as possible. So we have the internal rotation of the left hip, we have that big hamstring stretch, right leg. Taking it easy, working the right toes back for an additional stretch in the back of the leg. If it is a little bit too much working the toes back, feel free to point the toes to take some of the stress out of the hamstring. Okay, a few more moments here. Okay, just hold it here for just a few more breaths, wherever you are. And then as you inhale, slowly come up. So this time what we're going to do is we're just going to come onto the sole of the left foot. So we've still got the left leg crossed over the right, it's just the sole of the left foot's down. You might want to move the foot forward. We're going to come into a little twist. So now take the left hand behind the back to support yourself, hugging the left thigh in towards the body. Inhale, and as you exhale, twist the chest open to the left. Okay, so we're just holding on to the outside of the left leg, squeezing the knee in towards the centre line, right foot active, left hand behind the back, rolling the left shoulder, looking over that shoulder, and feeling that lovely twist through the spine, sitting up as tall as you can. Okay, and then as you exhale, chest forward, and then just uncross your leg and place the left leg next to the right. And we're going to do exactly the same little mini sequence on the other side. So keeping the left leg straight. This time we're going to take the right foot to the outer left hip. Shuffling around, seeing if you can get that right knee on top of the left as much as possible. Now if this is very uncomfortable, if there's a big gap between your knees, you may want to take your hand behind you and just work on the internal rotation of the right hip. Otherwise, being mindful as you move through this because it's a hamstring killer. You're going to come into the fold, you're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold the body forward, laying the weight of the body over the legs. You can take the foot, You can rest the hands either side of the leg, or you can bind your wrist behind the foot. Either way, let the head relax. Keep the shoulders drawing back if possible, so the neck has plenty of room. If it's too much stress on the hamstring, feel free to point the left toes instead of pulling the toes back. And just keeping the breath steady and noticing if one side feels different. This is a deceptive looking posture. It looks like it should be easy, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult to get the right hip to move inward. It's a big stretch for the left hamstring because you can't bend the knee, so it's forcing that leg to be straight. So there's a lot going on here. So just make peace wherever you've got, really. And remember, all of this is a work in progress. All depends on what you've done as well throughout the day. Okay, fabulous. And then just come up to seated. We're going to take it into that little twist. So now we're placing the sole of the right foot on the floor. You can bring the foot forward. We can take the right hand behind the back. You're going to hug the right leg in towards the body. Inhale, lift, exhale, open the chest up towards the right hand side. Roll the right shoulder back, look back over that shoulder, twisting through the spine. This one actually feels quite nice. This one's good. The other one was good as well, but the other one hurts a little bit more, for me at least. Everyone says you shouldn't have favourite yoga postures, but I do. I'm not gonna lie, they change. Okay, doing good. Keep breathing, keep sitting up nice and tall. Hugging the right knee in towards the centre. Keeping the left foot active. Okay, and then exhale, just come back to centre, uncross the legs. Give your legs a little shake, and then just come onto your back, hug your knees into your chest and make some circles. Rocking from side to side. So sitting up straight, or even just sitting on the floor, cross-legged or legs straight, it can be very challenging for some people. So if you found sitting on the floor difficult, don't worry, you're not alone, it is hard. Okay, so especially if, the tummy muscles are a little bit tired, or the hips are a little bit tight, or the hamstrings are a little bit tight. So sometimes sitting on the floor like that can make the back feel a little bit sensitive. So rocking around now is a good way to release any tension that may have built up. Okay, and then bring both feet to the floor. So we're just going to come into another little lion twist before we finish. So we were just working an internal rotation of the hip, and now we're going to be doing the same kind of thing, but in a different way, from a lion position. So we're just going to cross the we can cross the left knee over the right to begin with, that's not a problem. So again, we're trying to stack the knees as much as possible. Moving the bum over towards the left just a few inches and taking the arms out wide, palms down. Inhale here, then exhale, let the knees fall over towards the right, as far as they want to go, and then just turn your head, look over your left shoulder. So it's a different kind of twist. It's a little bit deeper now. You may feel some sensation in the left glute, a deeper sensation in the lower back. Any pain come out the posture, obviously. But again, we want this to be quite passive, so legs are just falling as far as they want to fall. And while there's a little bit of effort to keep the knees together, there's nothing too strong. We're not really kind of clenching the legs together, but we still want to keep the left shoulder down. Okay, and then as you inhale back to centre, uncross the legs, square your hips up, and we'll do the same thing the other side. So now the right knee is going to come over the left, knees stacked as much as possible, and then moving the bum over towards the right a few inches, arms wide, palms down. Inhale, then exhale, let the legs fall over towards the left. As far as they want to go, no effort to hit the knees to the floor, not the point of the posture. Looking over the right shoulder, and just relaxing as much as possible into the shape, keeping the right shoulder down and feeling it in the lower back, maybe right butt cheek. Okay, Okay, wonderful. And then inhale back to center, uncross your legs. And now we're finished. We're finished. So you're going to find yourself coming into whatever lying position you like. So legs straight, knees bent, or soles of the feet together, knees fall out sideways. Doesn't really matter as long as you feel comfortable. Hands on the belly, hands either side of the body. Closing the eyes or keeping the eyes open, and you're just going to stay here for a couple of minutes. Okay, so it's really important after every kind of yoga class that you give your body a chance to wind down. So we've done a fair bit of movement today. We started with the twists and the hips, we've done the back bends, we've done the downward dogs, the sun salutations with a lot of forward folds. And then we worked Dandasana, a strong posture, with that big old hamstring stretch and some twists. So we worked the whole body. So now just letting the body come down, so letting everything be really heavy. So the legs are straight, the feet are falling out sideways. So we're not forcing the outside of the feet down, but it's a natural movement. Over time, as the hips open, it'll become a little bit easier. And unless the hands are on the belly, the palms are facing up if they're out to the side of the body. So it encourages the shoulders to open, the chest to stay broad, chin tucks in, and then you're just letting the breath come back to normal as well. So we have been manipulating the breath, been trying to keep that slow, steady rhythm, matching movements with the breath, so now it can just come back to normal. Okay, maybe taking your attention around the body, checking in and seeing how you feel. And you're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you want. Whenever you're ready to come out, you wiggle your fingers and your toes. You take your toes down the mat, the arms overhead for one final cat stretch. And then one final time after that, hugging the knees into the chest and making some circles. So you're coming out of the relaxing posture as gently as you entered it. And then however you like, you come up to seated. And we're done. We've done it. Another yoga class, another Facebook Live yoga class. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you soon in person. Otherwise, while the gym is shut, I will be here every Wednesday and also every Saturday. So if you did want to join my Saturday yoga class, you can do that via the lift-off booking system. It'll be on there, so you can do that as well. Otherwise, have a lovely day. I hope you enjoy the sun, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Can't press finish.